He's coming in right now. Monsoon wreaks havoc in the hills. 7 buildings crash in Himachal's Kullu. 1 building shaken but still in the danger area. Chilling building crash caught on camera. Cracks in building after heavy rains. Those images coming in from Kullu in Himachal Pradesh. My colleague Kamaljeet is joining me live for more details on this. Himachal, just look at those pictures over there.
बच्चे मर जाने इसमें लोग थे इसके ऊपर लोग के ऊपर है
Those images, of course, coming in from Kullu, Himachal, absolutely tragic there. Kamaljeet, my colleague, is live with us. Kamaljeet, tell us more about what happened. Himachal continues to be battered by heavy rains.
Well, even as we speak, there's an orange alert, and even in Punjab, where the water level continues to rise is a key concern. But as the visuals are going viral, Polami, what is really distressing is to see all these houses crashing in like a pack of cards. There is a dust which really envelops the entire surrounding area. A lot of people who are shouting in anguish, obviously. We've been told that several of these houses were identified. They were actually vacant because the authorities had identified these. However, there's a sweeping operation going on to ensure that there's nobody who's actually trapped. But meanwhile, what we know is these several of these buildings which came crashing down. One of them seems to be a under construction building, and we've seen the way they came in down from a hillock, and that is where the real danger lies, because when there are obviously buildings one after the other, the impact of one building falling onto the other and coming down, and this is what we've seen creating a landslide sort of a situation. This is a human construction which has been done. Several, including the opposition parties, have raised issues about how there has been blatant construction in complete violation as far as the hill norms are concerned. And now it seems the nature is really taking its revenge. The way there are buildings which have been falling, and we've seen in the past 1 month Himachal really facing the brunt of nature. There have been cloud bursts. There have been several roads, especially around 900 to 1,000 roads, which have been impacted. And even the Manali road that we're talking about, the alternative route of Pando has been working on. But meanwhile, it does seem the locals really need to put and join hands together with the administration when it comes to the entire effort. But very, very distressing visuals coming in, especially from Kullu, the sort of impact which has taken place. It's really heart-wrenching to know that people would have invested their entire life's amount. This has been a key area where people actually go for vacations, so huge tourist draw. But what we've seen in the past 1 month, the sort of rains which have wreaked havoc has actually led to not only tourists really coming out of that particular area, but this entire area becoming an unsafe zone of sorts. But at this point of time, the administration had 2 tasks. One, to ensure that everybody is safe. Second, to ensure that these buildings are identified, and to ensure that there is safety as far as the immediate zone is concerned. But yes, if you actually closely listen to the video, a lot of people gushing, oh my God, as to what is really happening right there in Kullu. So Himachal Pradesh is on alert. Let me tell you about Punjab also, where because of heavy rains, and we do anticipate some of the areas reeling under impact of rains, from 23rd to 25th, all school institutions have been closed down.
Right. Kamaljeet, you mentioned the point about the opposition raising how there's been unhindered construction on these hills. What is the government doing about it? Because that's one of the glaring facts that's coming out of all the destruction that we're witnessing.
You know, Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu government came in just almost a year ago, and this is where we know the impact of it all. They say that's the baggage which has been there by the previous government. So we've seen an alternative government really work there, but there have also been construction of roads, 4-laning of roads have been done. We've seen a lot of new construction coming up. But meanwhile, we've also seen the construction of buildings, especially for the purpose of tourism, for purpose of residential areas. So that is where the key concern has been, whether there would be investigation into how they were given a green flag, a go-ahead to construct these buildings, while there is a particular norm which has to be followed in the hill zones. So yes, as far as the hilly regions are concerned, whether it's Uttarakhand or Himachal Pradesh, and we've seen Himachal really, because around 475 people died in the last 1 month, and we've seen the impact of landslides, whether it's Shimla, whether it's Solan, whether it is other areas which are still facing consequences, and loss of lives is huge, loss of property is huge, and that is what needs to be taken care of. And obviously this is going to be not an immediate solution, but it has to be a long-term perspective. The centre has to be kept in loop as to what changes are being made. And yes, even as there are rescue operations going on in several places, remember the construction of roads and getting it back on the road map is going to be a long-term process.
Absolutely. This is going to be a very long process, of course, trying to rebuild all of this, rebuild connectivity, as Kamaljeet was pointing out, in terms of roads as well. Kamaljeet, thank you so much for joining us with those details. Just let's have a look at those images one more time. It's absolutely heartbreaking.